And we back. Back again.
Back again.
Yeah, dog. How you been? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I've been playing through God of War Ragnarok.
All right.
I'm wrapping that up. I just 100%ed the main game.
Nice.
Not the new game plus, but
Right.
I got all the realms to 100%. All the ravens, chests, all that stuff. So really, and I beat all the bosses. So really, the only thing I have left now is the DLC, which I hear is excellent.
Oh, hell yeah.
So about to start working on that. And then I'm going to go heavy into some Sparking Zero.
Oh, yeah.
I picked up the new Call. Well, it's on Game Pass. I got the new Call of Duty. Been playing that a little bit. Sometimes you just need to take a break and like murder some people on the internet. So
Yeah. Heavy emphasis on the internet part.
right.
Yeah.
Of course.
Just for safety's sake.
Yeah. What about you, man? What you been doing?
Dog, I have been. Shit, I've been here.
No, right here. Yeah.
Been right here. Just editing, uploading, all kinds of fun shit, reading other shit. Just looking to the zeitgeist, seeing what the fuck I need to be informed on.
So there's some news that came out today. Have you seen this? You heard about this?
I believe you shared said news in a group chat.
Yeah. So, I really thought that there was some light at the end of the tunnel for my Star Wars people, because I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I'm really big into the lore and everything, and just Star Wars as a whole. I'm really intrigued by it. And I thought that we had some light at the end of the tunnel. I thought kind of, Kathleen Kennedy's influence was kind of waning over there, that we were going to get more like Dave Filoni type projects and things like that. We had Mando and Grogu movie coming out. We got Edge of the Empire coming out. And then it comes out today that they are going to make a Star Wars 10, 11, and 12 that are supposedly going to be Skywalker Saga. Which, if that had been all where the news stopped, I still would have been angry and not interested.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. These are going to be written, and earlier I thought it was written and directed, but apparently
It's
just written and produced by our good friend Simon Kinberg of Dark Phoenix fame.
So you know what's funny about that? I guess a month or so ago, we had you do the worst superhero movies tournament.
And I think it came in second, didn't it?
It came in second. What was first?
Fan Forstic.
Fan Forstic was the worst. Okay, yeah, and we went down and we looked at Mr. Kinberg's filmography, and it was interesting to say the least. Right?
It was like Days of Future Past and then a bunch of bullshit.
But I guess my thing is I feel that he saw that episode, right? He was like, I'll show them.
Yeah.
And he made a few phone calls, and then here we are.
Yeah. He's like, I am inevitable. This motherfucker is going to get the Infinity Gauntlet of ruining nerd franchises.
Yo, so when Disney bought Fox, did they just acquire him too?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought Simon Kinberg just got a parachute package from the buyout and went home.
Nah, apparently not. He wants to keep working.
Now granted, I am glad
Yeah.
that one person is writing them all. Mm-hmm. So at least there will be some sort of through line, you would assume. Some sort of, at least this is not going to be, we're going to make a Star Wars movie and then two more after that. And that's the whole plan. And you're just going to let one person write and direct one of them with no even remote care about what the second or third is going to be. At least with this, we can possibly get one, 3 scripts ahead of time before a single screenshot is taken. Maybe even before anybody is cast.
So is this in addition to the Rey movie, or is the Rey movie being absolved and then this taking its place?
From what I understand, this is not the Rey movie is still going to happen separate from this. And I kind of wonder, does that mean that because they didn't say that these movies are going to focus on sequel trilogy characters. So I kind of wonder if these movies are going to go maybe past that a little ways. Or because I can't imagine that Oscar Isaac or
I almost said Finn. John Boyega.
John Boyega. I mean, both of them have kind of said nah.
Yeah.
Now, granted, we all know Robert Downey Jr. said he wouldn't come back to Marvel too. So
that is true.
Money speaks very, very loud volumes.
Incredibly loud.
But I think Oscar Isaac, I think he's doing okay.
Yeah.
But I haven't really seen John Boyega in much, so.
Yeah, he's been in some projects here or there, but I mean, he was kind of like, more so than his co-stars, he really kind of spoke out about the Star Wars movies when they were coming out.
And Hollywood doesn't like that shit.
Right.
He was very bold to be like, nah, man, those films were trash.
Yeah. He said the quiet part out loud,
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, at least he didn't treat the viewers like we were fucking dumb.
Right.
So,
like the whole Game of Thrones cast,
bruh,
where they were just like, so what do you guys think about last season? They were like, it's good, yeah. It's great.
I would just ask like the producers of HBO, can I just not go to any press conferences?
Yeah, I don't want to do any press.
Yeah.
It's like when someone just like told you that they like specially you're coming over and I specifically made this dish just because you're coming over, and then you like try it and it's awful, and they're like, how is it? You're like,
man,
it's fantastic.
All right, yeah, literally choking on your words.
Yeah, that's what the Game of Thrones cast was like. Right. I mean, maybe like tonight's topic, it'll be better than we expect, and Venom, and Penguin for me as well.
Oh yeah, so. Yeah. I think about them making more Star Wars movies, right? And then in the vein of the Skywalker saga, I mean, that is a decision you can make, right? But man, that's like constantly being reminded that, man, there's a whole universe out there, and then you just focus on one street.
And there are no Skywalkers.
That part too, right? That is kind of difficult.
They are literally all dead. We have a Palpatine, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lando probably got like 900 kids.
Oh, for sure.
In space of various races and whatnot.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be a movie about them.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, he's like Space Nick Cannon.
God damn. Fuck, we can get Nick Cannon to play him.
Yeah, I mean, no, Donald Glover.
Oh, yeah, he can still, yeah. I forgot he played Lando in Solo.
I'll be honest, man. I really and this is a thing that I have wanted for a long time, and I was hoping that they could get it done before what's the original actor? I can't, it's right there.
Who played
Lando?
Billy D. Williams.
Billy D. Williams. Thank you. I've always thought that they should do a Lando movie, and they're running out of time to do this because he's not in good health,
right? And
that they should do a Lando movie where it's kind of him sitting talking to the camera,
mm-hmm.
and he's telling like some people at like a tavern the story, and then we fade into the story and it's like Donald Glover playing the younger Lando. I've always thought that would be an incredible.
That'd be cool as hell. And then, like at the end of the movie, he can drop the jewel into like the ocean, and then he dies, and then we can start playing Celine Dion, and then we just kind of.
Man, look, why you gotta do that? Why you gotta do this to me?
My bad.
Titanic. That's where you took it.
I mean,
could have gone with Merlin. We had to go to Titanic. Okay.
I mean, and listen, Disney would love it. Titanic made $1 billion, right? So they will love it.
That's true.
Yeah. I wish I could say that the Star Wars news was the only unsettling potential news that came out, but man, there have been some rumblings over at at Sony Studios, our old friends over there.
Oh my God, it's funny. Just earlier tonight, I was playing Call of Duty with some folks, and they were asking me like about how the Venom movie was, because they know I go see everything, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this is the best Sony movie since Amazing Spider-Man 1. I was like, however you want to take that. I was like, that's not a tall order,
Right.
But It'd be like the next Star Wars movie. It'd be like, oh, it's the best Star Wars movie since Rogue One. Okay.
All right. Not really giving me much.
That's a thing you could say.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, those are words you can use.
Yeah. So what? So, you know, our hopes and dreams of them licensing everything out to Disney are
fucking in shambles as it stands. So the first rumor that came out that I thought was bad enough was the Agent Venom movie. And here's the thing, on his face, I don't mind that idea. Like, bring back Joe Manganiello, right? And get him to play Flash Thompson again and make him, Agent Venom. Like, the problem with that is, like, just on the face of it, though, his whole origin is very much Avatar. Another James Cameron reference.
Yeah.
Wounded war vet gets the opportunity to get back in the field with this experimental procedure. They bond him to the symbiote, and boom, you got Agent Venom. It's always a strong premise, but I have zero faith in Sony's ability to pull that off. It is disconnected enough that they could probably do that better than an Eddie Brock Venom movie, but I still don't have high hopes for that because
it's Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Craven trailer.
I think the Craven trailer looks good. I don't think it has anything to do with Craven, though.
That part, yeah.
It looks like it's going to be an interesting movie called Craven about something else.
Right. Unfortunately, the news doesn't stop there. There are also rumblings and rumors that they are planning to do a Sinister Six movie. I thought that Amy Pascal put that shit away and that it was never going to come back. Like, this rumor was supposed to have been died like 8 years ago. It's back.
Okay, I'm not going to look at you. All right, for those of you on the audio, I'm not looking at him. This Sinister Six movie.
Yep.
Okay. Is it going to have Spider-Man in it?
That, as it stands, no.
Oh.
Why the fuck would they have Spider-Man in it, Caleb?
I don't know.
Hasn't someone taught you anything?
I don't know. That's a weird. I'm my bad. I realized that was an odd, really irrelevant fucking question.
Yeah, I don't know why the fuck you get off asking that kind of question.
Yeah, I'm a fucking idiot. I'm sorry.
Where Spider-Man be in the movie? The fuck out of here. But I got better news for you, all right? So your boy Spider-Man won't be in it, but as it stands, the rumor has it, the Sinister Six will be comprised of Morbin Morbius.
Are they gonna go on?
Okay. Madam Web.
So you know that meme of and it's Matthew McConaughey and he's like really smoking the shit out of the cigarette.
Yeah.
That's like where my brain is right now.
Venom. Now they didn't specify if it's like Eddie Brock or maybe Agent Venom, but Venom. Okay. Craven. and fuck, there was one more.
Vulture?
And Vulture, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's only 5, isn't it? Craven, Vulture, Madam Web.
You are correct.
Oh, okay, all right.
That was only 5. Maybe the 6th one would be, I don't fucking know, someone who was actually in the Sinister Six.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sitting there.
Vulture, yeah.
I'm sitting there and I'm like, other than Vulture,
yeah, none of them.
I mean, I could totally see like a version of Sinister Six with Morbius in it. Sure.
Yeah. This is just a hodgepodge of what they have left, and this what are going to be like. So what are we? Some kind of Sinister 5?
So like. The only thing worse than us having the Bat Kamehameha is like there's going to be a scene in this movie where he's going to go to hit the bad guy with the Bat Kamehameha, and then Madam Web's going to be like, no, he's going to move out of the way, and then he doesn't do it.
He does like Goku, like the instant transmission Bat Kamehameha.
I would have no choice but to pop for that. I'm sorry. I'd be like, okay, this movie is awful, but I mean. That one part.
Right, yeah.
That gave me something.
Yeah,
wow, this sounds awful. I think I...
Oh, no, we haven't got to the best part yet.
Okay. I don't think I want to. I think the homies, brace yourselves.
So the best part is that the villain is going to be Noel. So the Sinister 5 or whoever the 6 is going to be, they're all rumorly going to come together and fight Noel.
The Six need to be Thanos. Like, the Sinister Six needs to be Thanos. It needs to be like Thanos and Friends.
Right.
Like, or like the Beyonder or fucking, Galactus.
Right. Holy shit.
Is there even anybody they own the rights to?
Who can fight Noel? No. It's not.
I mean, even who could survive for 30 seconds against Noel?
No, they don't have anybody. They don't have anyone.
Probably Venom is the closest they have.
He's the closest, and
and he's just gonna get rocked.
He's gonna get rocked, yeah. So like it's hilarious at this point, man. The shit that Sony is allegedly cooking up.
I just hope that that's some fucking troll, and that's not real.
Here's the thing, right? Whenever I see shit like this, my first instinct is to just ignore it. Like, okay, this is trolling level bullshit. But then I see it again and again, and then different places start reporting it, and I'm like, motherfucker, don't make me do this.
And the next thing you know, we're sitting there watching Madam Web fight on top of the Pepsi Cat factory.
Right. Oh, if they go through with this, 100%, she's going to have some kind of Professor X powers now. And she's like fighting Noel in his mind. And she's going to be like some kind of fucking ninja or some shit. It's going to be...
They're going to kill him with a Pepsi.
What was it about that movie in particular? They must have had like some kind of real big sponsorship deal with Pepsi or something for that one movie.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing that I've ever seen with like a superhero where there was that level of product placement was probably the Arrow shows. Like, they had a deal with Microsoft sponsor those, and like anytime Felicity would use her laptop or whatever, the camera would zoom. Like her face could be here, and the camera would zoom up and be like right there, like the worst place ever to be,
right?
So that you just had the big ass Windows logo, and then just her eyes would be right over the top of the laptop. They would show the Windows logo. I'm telling you, folks, go back and watch any of like Arrow, like season 2, or even like later episodes, season 1 or 3, or even 3. They will show the fucking Windows logo ridiculously throughout that show. I noticed it sometime in season 1, and it's one of those things where like after that you can't help but notice it.
Right.
Like, there's more Windows logos in that show than there are Los Pollos Hermanos logos in Breaking Bad.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's wild. That is, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's what's going on right now in the breaking news of things to come, Oh, my
God.
So, I mean, just think about it this way. Whenever we need a break from these upcoming Star Wars movies, in between those, I'm sure we'll get another Sony release, and that'll hold us over to the next Star Wars movie, which will hold us over to the next Sony product.
I think I'm just going to find some lava to dive into. But, well, folks, these are projects that we think are probably going to suck, and that is very appropriate for our source material tonight. But I think some introductions are in order before we get started.
They are indeed. Homies, one and all, I would like to welcome you all back to a very special episode of the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and as always, I'm here with the world's most incredible podcast co-host, the homie Caleb.
Yeah, man, I am happy to be here. I've been really looking forward to this episode. And before we get too far into it, I also want to mention that this coming Monday, we're going to record another episode that I'm really looking forward to.
Another one.
None other than our second Mistborn episode, where we're going to finish up the Era 1 stuff.
Yes.
I am beyond excited to come here and flex my Cosmere nerddom.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I love those episodes. One, because obviously the material is amazing. So if for those of you who aren't familiar with the work of Brandon Sanderson, I highly recommend it. And so yeah, definitely be sure to check it out. Start with Mistborn. It's my recommendation as someone who's read so much of it.
Several times.
Several times over, of course.
Yeah, Mistborn is a great starting place. So,
and but also it's an opportunity for me to like all right, I can just hand the reins off to somebody else and just ask questions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know a lot more now than when we did the first one.
Oh, for sure.
When we did the first one, he was just a little baby Cosme or not. He actually knows a lot more now than then. But
I asked inadvertently some very pointed questions in that first Mistborn review we did.
Yeah, it's really funny. You probably can go back and watch that now, and like you'll be talking about some shit and see the other three of us like,
yeah,
like, that's way off, or like, yeah. Tell me more about what you think,
right,
on that.
Yeah.
So,
oh man, but yeah, that's gonna be a good one for sure.
But today we are actually here to talk about the newest Marvel sensation, which is Agatha All Along, and I know this is a very new show. The finale was just last week. But we want to go ahead and give a spoiler warning now. Unlike our movie reviews, we're just going to go full tilt. So if you haven't seen the show yet, listen, I think you should watch it 100%. If you like Marvel stuff, may not be for you. It's hard to say, but really enjoyed it. I think you should go watch it. If you haven't, you probably want to dip now.
Yeah, for sure. If you don't want to be spoiled on it, then yeah, definitely go ahead and get you a box of Dick and Nips. Go watch Agatha and then come back.
Yeah, we got the holiday ones coming out.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah,
there's the
Dick and Nips. Yep.
Yeah, there's the Thanksgiving,
right?
And then of course we got the red and green Christmas edition coming out.
You gotta have those. Yeah. So be sure to get your limited edition special holiday Dick and Nips. Wherever you get your Dick and Nips.
Yeah, right. and of course, if you don't like the special holiday flavor, stick to your original.
Stick to the original, so. Yeah. Eventually we're gonna have to come up with like a Dick and Nips, and
yeah, we're gonna have to actually make it at some point. So man, getting into Agatha, it goes without saying that we had low expectations for this going in.
Why wouldn't we? I think we can be forgiven for having low expectations.
Oh, absolutely. This isn't like, what was it that we had to eat crow on?
X-Men.
Yeah, on X-Men 97.
Yeah.
This isn't like that at all. I think we had in some ways, but we had every reasonable expectation. With an X-Men 97, you can 100% see why people would want an X-Men cartoon.
Yeah.
X-Men are famous. Like the fucking X-Men cartoon, I think, is probably the best received X-Men anything off of the fucking, other than the Claremont era comics. So. And maybe Deadpool and Wolverine.
Right.
But like outside of that, you got to get the fuck out of here. Like nobody wanted this show.
Right.
Like, yeah, we thought that they were going to do a bad job at reviving the X-Men cartoon. But with this show, it's like this was not a thing that anyone would have thought that they needed.
This is a minor character in the show that a lot of people have forgotten about already.
Yeah, they literally made it because Catherine Hahn did a great job, I think, and she's very likable.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, making something as a result of one person's star power is not a new thing, and sometimes it will work.
Yeah.
But I gotta ask, since we're here, I've been dying to know, man. What's your overall thoughts on this?
Man, I think that this show has a lot of interesting qualities to it. I sit down and I watch this show, and it's like, man, it's almost akin to watching a good Tyler Perry product. Let me explain what that means.
You're gonna have to fill me in on where that is. Yeah,
because like 9 times out of 10, you know what you're gonna get with the Tyler Perry movie or TV show. And 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10, that's just not going to be any good.
Yeah, I don't even know where that other half. Like I said, after this, you're going to have to point me to that other half. He was in Star Trek.
Oh, yeah, the 2009. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. But every once in a while, it's like he'll put out something, and I'm like, that's actually, like, maybe my expectations are just so far in the dirt, right? Or maybe I just walked by and caught the right scene at the right time. Maybe he just had the right kind of cast, but what he's going for actually works here. And that's kind of how I feel about this Agatha TV show, right? It's like I did not expect this at all to be anything that I would remotely enjoy, but I did. And not only that, but I found myself enjoying episodes that it seems most people online maybe didn't care that much for. A like apparently a lot of people didn't care for episode 1. I did because it did remind me of WandaVision, and But then again, I think I also enjoyed WandaVision for the most part more than most people. So my thing of it is going into this show is that like I needed to understand what was going to be the through line, what's going to be the real point and purpose of this show. By the end of it, where are these characters going to be, and what's going to be the whole point of having this show in the first place. And like for the most part, I think this show did a great job of doing just that. I don't get me wrong, like it's this particular genre of TV show isn't really my cup of tea, but I think that from the performances and for the story that they were going for, and for how they were able to tie in certain concepts from the comics, which is always a plus for me, it really helped my overall enjoyment of this. And also I like that they didn't do the Disney model all the way through, and they stuck to their guns in certain places that I really appreciated. So I mean, yeah, I don't think that this show is perfect. I think there are certain things that you kind of have to just roll with the punch and just go with it. But if you can do that, I think that you'll find that this is actually a pretty intriguing show.
Yeah, I agree. I was someone who was not super thrilled with episode 1. Starting with episode 2, I think I really got into it more. I thought episode 1 had pacing issues, and I will also say that when Rio first shows up and, things start to happen. We find out later on, like we said, full spoilers, folks. Mm-hmm. We find out later on that she's deaf, and that's why she's able to easily kind of break through this stuff and do the things she's able to do in this first episode. But when you're just watching it the first time, and a lot of this is my own expectations and what I think about Marvel television, and I'm just like, they're not going to explain any of this shit. They're just like, just roll with it.
Yeah.
There's no explanation for what's going to happen here. And even when Teen shows up, which Wiccan,
yep,
we'll talk about that more for sure. Even when Teen shows up, I'm just like, this is contrived as fuck. Why is this happening right now? And they explained that. I was really pleasantly surprised by like a lot of the things they explained. And then when they introduced Lilia,
yeah,
I had very similar feelings. I was like, this is a character I've seen before. They're just going to have her say random shit. Mm-hmm. Like that's not going to pay off. And god damn if I wasn't wrong about that. I mean, the things that hold this show together for me, the character writing for the most part, I think is excellent. They could have very easily had the Coven be Agatha and friends, Agatha and a bunch of fucking nobodies, but they did such a good job of giving each one of these characters that we maybe otherwise wouldn't care about. Mm-hmm. You have a very good understanding of who they are and why they are there and what their backstory is.
Yeah.
I think Jen probably got the least as far as backstory. We don't know as much about hers. And I think that I actually really hope that gets explored in another project because she was one of my favorite characters. I loved her.
Yeah, I think another thing about this show that we definitely have to talk about as it rolls on is part of rolling with the punches with this show is understanding that this show is very cheesy.
Yeah,
and so you gotta deal with the cheese, but if you can accept the cheese and just kind of see it for what it's being, that would also very much increase your enjoyment of this show.
Yeah, and I kind of brought that up too. Like, Catherine Hahn plays the character with a huge fucking slice of cheese. She she plays it campy. Mm-hmm. And so to me, when we get to the big reveal at the end, where you finally get to see her backstory, it's kind of off-putting a little bit to have the way that she plays this character, and you kind of see the incredibly tragic kind of nature of how she got here. I don't love the contrast there. There was a lot of points in this show where I thought that Agatha was the least entertaining character on the screen, you know, and I still feel that way. And I don't take away that much from the show from it because, like, it's okay for one of your characters to be driving the plot and to have everybody else kind of be in orbit around them. And that does happen in this show to her.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a part where, like, you and I might disagree. Agatha was actually my favorite character in the show.
Wow.
Yeah. And a part of the reason why she was my favorite character in the show, it kind of goes back to what I was alluding to earlier. I fully expected this show to have her do some contrived, I see the light, face turn, but she was Agatha all the way through, and everything she did felt like something Agatha would do.
She was Agatha all along.
I will allow it.
You basically said it there.
I did.
You just didn't say it. And I know when you said that, you were like, God damn it.
Because I would have hit the fuck out of that button had I said it.
Yeah. Yeah. He has like an extra one that like puts like fireworks and shit in the background. No, I agree with that. And when the credits rolled on it the first time, I was like, Ace is going to love that she did not have a face turn.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, even at the end, she's literally only fighting for her survival. You know, there's never this point. Like, yeah, there is a part where she might fuck over the worst person.
Yeah.
But she's still doing it for her own personal gain.
Right.
You know, I loved that didn't happen. Because about episode 4 or 5, I was like, man, okay. This show's going to get to a point, and then I'm going to hate it after that. You know? I kept feeling that. Yeah. But it never came.
Yeah.
It never came. And then, I got to say, like, the 7th episode, we've talked about this. You know, I love how that's written.
Yeah.
I thought that was, whoever wrote that, put them on the fucking staff for whatever. And I did look up who wrote it, and they wrote some other things that we really hate. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, everybody has a good day, I guess, or maybe a bad day. You know, maybe the other stuff was a bad day.
Yeah, all bad days.
But I thought that episode was so brilliantly written. Yeah, I thought that was incredible, and I will say that the last 2 episodes to me, they do slide downhill a little bit because for me that episode was the crescendo, and we kind of slid after that. But I never thought it, like, I wasn't disappointed in the finale or anything like that.
It should have ended with 8. I could have done completely without 9. They could have taken, for me, they could have taken 5 minutes from episode 9 and put it in 8, and I would have been just fine.
Would that 5 minutes be the Wiccan reveal?
Yeah, it'll be the Wiccan reveal with Agatha's ghost showing up.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, honestly, that's like everything else. I was like, I don't need this now.
Yeah, I was really glad that they released them at the same time. Because if I waited a week after 8 to watch 9, I would have been livid.
Well, also, like, I was watching 8, and I shit you not, I was thinking to myself, oh, there's only 8. I thought there were 9 episodes because the way that it was going.
And it's also long as fuck, too.
It is. Yeah. And episode 9 is only 38 minutes. I shit you not, that shit felt so long.
Yeah.
It felt incredibly long for me. I thought that the Plex was wrong for a second. I was like, this shit ain't no 38 minutes. By the way, fuck you, Disney Plus, and your goddamn commercials.
Yeah, it was like with this, it was like any of the video games where like they won't let you skip the credits,
right?
And you just gotta fucking sit there.
Yeah, like, this is bullshit.
You're like, I'm trying to play New Game Plus. Come on, man.
Yeah, like I watched episode 1 of Agatha on Disney Plus. And man, that episode I think was 45 minutes, something like that. There were like 5 commercials. Like, this shit is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
like a commercial every 10 minutes, basically. Nah.
Bro, I pay extra, even on top of the incredibly absorbent cost of Amazon Prime. I pay like the extra on top of that to not have the ads because I cannot fucking stand.
I know
them. I can't do I cannot watch shit with ads. Like I don't want it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Now I loved. Actually, let me take it back. That's not true. I thoroughly enjoyed episode 7. I won't say that I was head over heels for it, but I did think that it was a great. As to say in the business, it was a great piece of business they did there.
Yeah.
And I think that the things that would have led to my higher enjoyment of that episode would have been had they given that same kind of small attention to detail in the other episodes as well.
Right.
That would have really insinuated my appreciation for that episode and for Lilia, yeah.
I really love you know me, like the Nolan like nonlinear storytelling.
It's Dr. Manhattan. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
But part of that is most people can't pull it off.
Yeah.
So when someone does, it's really nice. And I just thought that with her character being who she is, like when I first met that character, and even maybe 2 episodes in, I was like, this is probably going to be my least favorite character on the show. I like Mrs. Hart better than this character.
Yeah. Sharon is amazing.
Sharon was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, I will say this. There's a decent amount of humor that doesn't land in this, but there's quite a bit that I laughed pretty hard, like, in here. I actually, there's a few times where I was pleasantly surprised because I was watching this show and there was quite a few times where I was like, Ace is going to hate this. When we review this, it's going to be me being like, I really loved this, and you being like, this is fucking terrible. I need a new co-host.
And don't get me wrong, I wanted to do that, and it's not too late.
You know what's crazy is I think the most prominent time that happened to me was the second time that they did the Witches Road when they had the full band.
Oh, I do have a problem with that.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
Yeah. I was sitting there watching that and I was like loving it because not to go too off the rails here, but in the last D&D campaign that we played together in, my character was started off as a warlock, but he always knew how to play musical instruments, and he eventually became a bard. And pretty much every time we would fight like a big bad enemy or whatever, I always wanted it to end in a rock off, And the fact that they got to do that, they actually did have a rock off against the demon in this episode. I really loved it, but I remember watching it and being like, Ace is gonna fucking hate this.
I did not love it.
The song's catchy as shit, man.
And I have a problem with that too.
They gotta put a little something in there for the TikTok folks, bro.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? It's like, is the song catchy? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But just let it be.
You got to put it in at the beginning of the episode.
I ain't got to do a goddamn.
You gotta.
you can just
for the algorithm.
For the algo. you gotta just let the song be catchy. Like, for example, Toss a Coin to Your Witcher. That caught fire.
Yeah.
Imagine if they play that every 2 episodes.
They only did it twice, technically.
You know what? They only did it twice, technically, but man, it was referenced in both nature and song so many times. And then we gotta get the origin of it in the final episode.
The montage with the kid when they were doing it, that shit could have been cut in half.
Yeah.
It went on a little long. I was like, we get it.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Major Tom scene from Venom 3, right? That shit could have been cut, right? Like, we didn't need the whole thing,
No, I actually I disagree on that one. I'm not following your example.
You're not following me? Okay.
No.
All right.
No, not at all.
Okay, I tried. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be honest, like, the whole thing where she figures out he's a Maximoff and she's like, yeah, if you weren't, this would be this wouldn't be nearly as dramatic. Mm-hmm. When she said that, I was like, that line doesn't make any fucking sense, you know? But as it turns out, like, they made good on that shit too.
Yeah.
Because she knew, I loved the origin for the road. Like, she knew it was bullshit.
Yeah.
She made it up.
Yeah.
You know? And I really loved that reveal. I didn't like I said, the montage went on way too long. Mm-hmm. But I loved that reveal that, you know, that the Maximoffs tell is that they fucking create pocket dimensions.
Yeah.
You know? And that he completely...
And most of which they're not fully aware of.
Yeah. And that he completely fabricated the whole fucking thing. And she knew the whole time that that's what had happened. And
the only issue is... And there is a way to kind of explain this plot hole if you want to look deeply into it. I don't know if the show intended for you to do that, but the issue is that at the end of the road, Agatha is like legitimately surprised that there is that she doesn't get her MacGuffin, she doesn't get her power, she doesn't get what she wants. And then in retrospect, when you're like, well, you knew that this was bullshit the whole time, why are you so shocked?
I think it's because the other two people actually did get what they were looking for.
Yeah, but those were almost non-tangibles.
Right,
whereas hers was very much...
They could have got those things anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like defeating a rock monster with the power of music. You know, it's like you don't really need any type of magic to do that. You can just do that.
That's true. But a rock off is the best way to end any challenge with a dark entity.
Hey, listen, if that fucking hellspawn demon pulled out a fucking guitar and started ripping, I would have loved it.
And right? And it's played by Jack Black?
And it's played by Jack Black.
In a role he actually should have.
He is playing Satan in the upcoming Christmas movie.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just glad he's not playing, a fucking Minecraft character or...
Oh, my fucking God. Yeah, we can do without all that.
Mr. Freeze or whatever the fuck they're going to cast him as.
Jack Black as Mr. Freeze. Holy shit.
He would be like, okay, guys, the only condition is I have to make more cold puns than Arnold made.
And they're like, we got to throw the whole script out.
Yeah, yeah, you're done. You're done. Dude, is Penguin ending on Sunday?
It is. We got to review that.
So we're going to have two dope as hell episodes next week.
Yes.
So there's one thing I want to talk to you about. So Thursday, I'm actually going to see Red One or whatever. The Christmas movie. But we're going early. We're going at like 5.
Okay.
Because they don't have a late showing for whatever reason. But if you want to review that, I would be down.
Hell yeah. If I can get off early enough, which lately I have been.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah, I haven't got tickets yet, so.
Okay.
Yeah, we're planning to do that. So we might review 3 fucking things next week.
Might review 3 goddamn episodes next week. Just for y'all.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the movie. They actually have a early GTX only screening on Sunday, but we're gonna be playing D&D.
Yeah.
And it's at like 4:00. We never get out of there in time.
Nah, yeah, that ain't happening.
Yeah, but I digress. Yeah, man. What'd you think about? We've talked about Agatha. Mm-hmm. What'd you think about the rest of the coven here?
Again, I wanted to shit on it, but I enjoyed them way more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
And I guess it's to the point where, like, the only kind of drawback I can think is that some of them maybe didn't get enough, but that's just the nature of the show. It's only 9 episodes, and maybe every episode and a half, someone dies, which I also really appreciated as well, that they stuck to their guns on something like that. I could have completely seen a scenario where at the end of the road, they're all actually alive and okay.
Oh God, I'd have hated that.
I would have hated that shit too, and I was ready to hate it, but they didn't do it.
I would have hated that. I think I would have hated if like everyone had died. Like I was really glad that Jen made it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like one of them had to make it out.
Yeah,
at least.
Yeah, I was really. I loved Jen. She was like I was rooting for her the whole fucking time. She was great.
She was, and again, she's probably the main one who needed more.
Yeah.
And
I think they recognize that. Like,
Yeah.
these other characters are going to die, so we got to give them everything.
Yeah. Like, for example, with was it Alice? She gets her moment and then she dies the very next episode.
And then she actually, I think she died. Doesn't she die right then?
No, she does the rock off and she survives. Then the next episode is the '80s themed teen
That's
house.
right.
Yeah, and that's where she bites it.
Did you pick up on Rio being death right then in that scene with the Ouija board? What is it called? Ouija board. Yeah.
It's hard for me to say, right, because I knew going into the show that she was death.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know.
Yeah. And so it's hard for me to give like an accurate assessment because knowing that information, watching from the beginning, it's like clearly.
Yeah, I didn't know till the reveal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know till the actual reveal happened because, I wasn't thinking that shit. Why would you debut death after Thanos is gone?
That's also a good point.
I'll be honest with you guys. Originally, when I saw Infinity War, I was like, it's probably better that they went with this kind of logical version of Thanos and not the, I'm doing all this so I can get with death. But Thanos tries to kill half the universe so he can get with Aubrey Plaza is a different thing. That's totally believable.
Well, the more you think about like the whole Thanos shit, the more you realize, man, we really missed the boat on a lot of things. Like in the moment, it was like, oh man, okay, yeah, no Adam Warlock, no Nova, no Marvel, okay, but that's his own thing. But then it's like, man, the love triangle, if you want to call it that, between Thanos, Death, and Deadpool, we could have gotten, but now we can't.
We can still get Deadpool and Death though.
We can still get Deadpool, and now she can officially curse him with immortality.
Oh God!
So she can never be with him. That would be amazing.
That would be amazing. Another reason that I was like, you're not really going to love this show is because it's pretty light on the action. I think other than maybe the last episode or two.
It is very, very light on action. But then again, I didn't expect any action from this show.
I thought we'd get a big fight at the end. And we do. I actually liked the fight here better than Agatha and Wanda's fight at the end of WandaVision.
I do too. Again, I didn't like it better by like a whole lot, but I still liked it more. My overall complaint is still kind of the same as with the WandaVision fight. Y'all are just throwing CG boats at each other, and I'm like, y'all are some of the most powerful magic practitioners on Earth, and this is what we do.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's always interesting to look at how Marvel portrays magic because it's like when you look at Doctor Strange 1 and then you look at him in Infinity War, they did some amazing shit with him.
Yeah,
and so it's like they have the resources. Clearly, they know how to do it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it takes a certain level of imagination, right? Mm-hmm. The reason I think I like the fight with Death is number one, there's like more stakes to it. Like when you're watching WandaVision, you're like, well, of course Wanda's going to beat her.
Yeah,
this is Wanda getting her comeuppance or whatever. Mm-hmm. In this fight, man, not only was it a little more visceral because they were like throwing people through houses and shit,
right?
But like it was a three-way battle, and you have one person that is more of a force of nature than anything.
Yep. And
I actually really love the thing that she got into about can I be evil?
Mm-hmm.
I actually really fucking loved that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm a Sandman reader, right? And so that comes up pretty often with his sister Death, and it's like, man, you first read about her in the DC version, the Sandman universe, and it's like, oh, she's a really cool chick, and then you realize, oh, she's Death. And Death is not a bad person. Death just has a role in the universe.
Yeah, that's gonna come up on Monday.
True that.
For sure. Yeah. In a very similar scenario. But yeah, I mean, it's like this is what she is. She's a force of nature, And then you have Agatha, who is by all intents and purposes evil.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
all right.
And then you have Wiccan, who morally ambiguous.
You're right.
Yeah. I mean, he thinks he is on the good side, but most of us do, you know?
Yeah, that's true. And, you know, you think about it, and it's like he's done some similar atrocities to his mom, and then you have to wonder, will he go down the same path that Wanda went down, you know?
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because we're going to see, you know, he doesn't know his mom.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
At this point in time, Agatha has had more influence on him than Wanda.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's going to stick.
Right.
So it's going to be cool, man. I actually, this makes me much more excited for Vision Quest because I think that with Vision Quest, I think they're going to attempt to sort of continue this narrative.
I forgot they were doing the Vision Quest show. I was like, shit, Kevin, you read Vision Quest? I was like, I was like, oh, they're making that into a show. Oh shit.
Yeah, and
I forgot.
And I really think that, and you know, they also said that they're going to do a follow up to WandaVision. It's probably going to be called that.
Okay.
But I think that that's going to be kind of their like where they tie all this in.
Yeah.
Probably reunite her, Vision, and the kids together.
Yeah, and that does remind me, I do unfortunately have to dock this show a few points because we get to see the resolution for almost everyone except for Hazmat Franklin. He's still
well, yeah, because he is Saga 3's main villain.
Oh, okay, yep, got it.
Yeah, they can't one and done Hazmat Franklin.
Yeah, that's true. It would have been a waste here, you know. You can't just
Yeah, I mean, what what do you think this is, Surtur? You can't one and done Hazmat Franklin.
Yeah, that's true. What was I thinking?
Yeah.
For those of you who are wondering, like, who the fuck is Hazmat Franklin? Years ago, back in 2020, holy shit, 4 years ago, when we reviewed WandaVision, like episode by episode, it was the pandemic. We didn't have shit else to do.
Yeah, we was bored.
Yeah. There was the episode where like the organization tried to sneak in an agent, and they put him in a hazmat suit. He never had a name. I don't even think you see his face, but they put him in a hazmat suit and they sent him underground to try to sneak into West Point. Is that the name of the town?
Westview.
Westview, yeah.
Westview and Eastview.
Yeah.
Very creative.
Yeah, so they put him in the hazmat suit and try to sneak him into Westview, but as soon as he enters Wanda's little field of fuckery, he transforms from a dude in the hazmat suit to a dude in the beekeeper outfit, and you know, I was as a matter of fact, the notes I'm sure are in here somewhere, but when I was taking my notes down for that episode, I didn't know what to call the guy, and so I just deemed him Hazmat Franklin. You know, he's the best hazmat man in the business, so they sent him.
And we've been referencing him
for 4 years.
For 4 years. And him and his beekeeper powers that he just got.
And still haven't seen heads or tails of him since.
I was livid at Ralph Boner.
Bruh.
I was glad to see him specifically.
Yes.
As we always are. Whether he's like eating people or not. You know. What's his fucking name?
Evan Peters.
Evan Peters. Thank you. I can't think of any actor names today. That side of the brain database is down for maintenance. But it was nice to see Evan Peters here, and he actually did have something to do. He did for once.
He exposited, but it made sense. You know, they made it make sense.
Yeah, and I probably would become a crazy ass conspiracy theorist too if I was. He was like the dude from Independence Day.
Oh yeah.
Was that Randy Quaid?
Was it Randy or Dennis?
Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid. Yeah. Dennis Quaid's Independence Day character. Yeah. You know, he was abducted by aliens, man. You know, of course he's a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
And so I just hated being reminded of what they did to us.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? And so in that regard, is this better or worse than Mandarin? With Trevor, I should say.
It is. It's worse. No. I mean, no. Trevor's worse. Mandarin's worse.
Okay.
Because this is a smaller impact. You know.
Yeah, this is a smaller impact. I think you could argue though that if you look at the comparisons is that we think that Ben Kingsley is the Mandarin at first in Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
And you go to WandaVision, we, by all measures, think that Evan Peters is Quicksilver.
Right.
And all the implications that come with that.
Right.
So, like, I think that, like, the tipping point is huge for both. I think you can argue that the tipping point is bigger for the Raph Boner reveal because, like, the thoughts and theories that people had just fucking crashed and burned.
Yeah.
And we didn't do it. Disney literally put him in there.
The misdirect is the same.
Yeah.
But the fallout is much like we didn't get like they didn't advertise a fucking Wanda and Quicksilver show to us.
That's true. That is true.
For a year and a half.
Yeah.
They didn't play a Quicksilver trailer.
Yeah.
You know, and then shit on us. And at least when they brought Ralph Boner back, it made some kind of sense.
Yeah.
They done brought Trevor back fucking twice now. And it's neither time is just a quick cameo. It's like you had an extended sequence with this bastard.
That isn't needed.
No, it's completely unnecessary. Yeah. And I also just find, also Evan Peters is he's just less fucking annoying as a character.
Right.
And
Raph Bone is a less annoying character than Trevor.
Yeah, and I really hate that Trevor's going to be all up in Wonder Man.
Oh, did they confirm that?
He's in the trailer.
I must have blocked him out.
Yeah, he's in the fucking Wonder Man trailer.
Yeah, I dedefinitely blocked him out.
Like, Trevor's, like, trying to help him get the role and shit. Like, I think he's, like, coaching him or something.
Is there only one actor in
There are two, Wonder Man.
Well, now Wonder Man, so now there's two.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Well, shit.
They could get Clayface from the Isekai.
Oh, no.
No.
We're good.
All right.
Yeah. How much money? Imagine paying all that money for Ben Kingsley to get him to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, at least Evan Peters probably wasn't that expensive.
Right. Probably not compared. Well, I don't know, man. After Dahmer, his rates might have gone up.
Yeah, now for the second appearance. But the first one,
that's true.
You know,
yeah,
he was looking for work then.
Right.
Fucking Dark Phoenix.
Oh, bro. Was he in Dark Phoenix?
Is he in Dark Phoenix?
I don't
think he is. I don't think he is. But I mean, the franchise was gone. Yeah, his agent was like, "Hey, when they ask you, if anybody asks you from Fox, we talked about Dark Phoenix, and you're taking some time off to take care of your aunt." They sent the script over this morning, and oof, yeah.
God damn.
Let's talk about the big red demon in the room.
Oh.
The Mephisto drop. For realsies this time.
For realsies. Yeah, they actually say his name this time.
So, you know, would you want to see a situation where, you know, WandaVision, Agatha, Vision Quest, whatever this, you know, maybe conclusion is, would you want to see Mephisto as kind of the big bad of this sort of spooky corner of the Marvel Universe?
Mephisto's got to be bigger than that, to me.
Well, they don't have to kill him, you know?
Right.
They could always have a rock off or whatever. And he has to leave him alone.
Like, the way that I would portray Mephisto, it would be like a 3-act reveal, something that only Marvel Disney could do. But man, like the way for that kind of payoff, I don't know if they want to do it that way. It's when you have them in plain sight, but you don't know you have them in plain sight. You know, like that's the true way to do Mephisto,
right?
That and also like it seems a little bit Skrull-ish, and we see how that went. But yeah, so I would like to obviously I would love to see Mephisto make an appearance, but if they don't currently have any plans for the motherfucker, then don't do them. You know?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, originally, like, kind of my thing for him was like, Wanda is so desperate to get Vision back.
Yeah,
I could totally see her make a deal with him. You know,
well, you know, in the comics, the way that her children come about, like, because they are souls and they had to come from somewhere. And although Wanda can warp reality and manipulate matter to a degree, like those souls came from Mephisto.
Yeah.
And so when it was time to pony up, it was like, yeah, those are mine. And so like that's another reason why I think that the Mephisto theories were running wild during WandaVision.
And that could still be true here.
It could.
Because, I mean, right now, as far as we know in the show, she just conjured them.
Yeah.
And I don't think she can do that.
Right. Yeah.
So it's entirely possible that is, in fact, where they came from, and that could be an interesting reveal.
Yeah.
I think that's some awesome character development for Wiccan.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, okay, so first you get mentored by fucking Agatha, right? And he honestly, obviously, he sees something in her.
Yeah.
He doesn't think she's completely all bad,
right?
And then the next thing you know, you find out that you fucking came from Mephisto, and then you stole this motherfucker's body,
right?
And
then you led your brother to steal another kid's body.
Yeah, they fucking they murked that kid.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that they fucking let that kid drown.
They let him drown. Yeah, like he could have survived. Like what happened to Billy's body? He was gone.
Yeah,
But with Tommy, that kid had a chance.
They could have pulled that kid out.
Right.
Like I'm pretty sure Agatha could have been like, okay, we're just gonna levitate this kid out the pool. Like I'm pretty sure even Wiccan probably could have done that shit.
Right.
But like, no, they were like, okay, this is a good body.
Yeah. But I love that they're not ignoring like the moral consequences of it, and that was really one of the few things I did not like about WandaVision was they tried to take the moral high ground with Wanda.
It wasn't until Doctor Strange 2 that they really showed that on screen, like the severity of what she did and kind of how far it had driven her. I actually have talked to 2 people since Agatha came out that have been like, do I need to watch WandaVision to understand this show? And I was like, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Right.
How did you watch Doctor Strange 2?
Oh, yeah.
Without watching WandaVision? Like, how fucking confused would you have to be to go from the the after credits, not after credits, but like the epilogue of Endgame to... This bitch just went to the house and decided to be crazy? Like,
yeah. She's got this fucking magical ass book and she just turned fucking heel on Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Like you have no idea what's going on if you don't watch WandaVision.
Yeah, it was fucking Mark Henry in the suit, in the retirement suit.
The same shit. Yeah. Like she hit Doctor Strange that fucking World's Strongest Slam. He was like, curse you, Wanda. Yeah. That shit was crazy. Yeah. Oh shit, that was wild. But no, obviously this has to pick up somewhere, right? With them finding Tommy.
Yeah, I mean, I think, maybe that's kind of how we go as in Vision Quest. We're kind of picking up the pieces, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe we get Vision, maybe we get Tommy in that, or maybe we get Tommy in whatever the next thing is.
Yeah.
Does Tommy have speedster powers?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, he takes after his uncle in terms of his powers.
I mean, they don't have a speedster right now. So.
Yeah, they don't, yeah.
Their other one, I mean...
technically, they should have one somewhere, but I don't think they bring back the Eternals.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So, yeah, Makari's still out there, but...
Yeah.
Fuck all if I know where they are.
I mean, the Pietro they have has excellent wind resistance.
God damn.
Because he's full of holes.
I get it. You didn't have to explain. Shit. Oh man. What the fuck is White Vision doing? What's he been doing for the past 4 years?
I don't know, man. Cause like, is it that's the one that got away, right?
Yeah. Like
the other one they ended up scrapping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the good Vision, he said his goodbyes to Wanda and the kids, and then he peaced out and went back to being dead.
So they only have the White Vision now.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. He just fucked off.
He literally just fucked right the fuck off.
I have heard that they are going to have Ultron in Vision Quest.
I have heard that too, but I have been Ultron catfished just as many times as I've been Mephisto catfished.
I'll be honest, man. I'm not opposed to Ultron like comeback because obviously from Age of Ultron, there's like so much more we could really do with him.
Oh yeah.
But I think it needs to be a long time. Like I think like several like phase 7, 8, you know, because he was the main bad guy in What If in season 1, and he was fucking terrifying.
Oh yeah.
And they did such a good job with him. And I just think they need to wait.
That's true. And it's also like, I'm not saying that you have to top that because, what was his name? Visiontron.
Yeah.
He was like a multiversal threat, you know. He could look in the face of reality and see the Watcher, you know. I think that if they bring back Ultron, obviously he doesn't have to be that super mega OP because then who the fuck would fight him? But they have to flesh him out a little bit more, which is ironic because he has no flesh. But they need to expound upon this character a little bit more if they decide to bring him back. Because Ultron is a great villain. He is a great threat to the Avengers. And they had to nerf him in that first movie. Because if they didn't nerf him, motherfucker still be alive. He would have won.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. There was not a lot. I mean, he was still pretty OP, but not near as much as like,
it
he
got
actually
to the point where like they could just isolate and find like practically Ultron Prime and destroy him, and it's like, well, there is really no Ultron Prime. That motherfucker, like, if we have internet, that motherfucker's alive.
Well, they actually did not. I mean, they didn't exactly do it that way, right? So what they did is they burned out all the copies, and then they took out the main one.
Yeah.
So,
but still, it's like, you guys think that you just got him, huh?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like there should always be.
Yeah.
He would have another copy. Like there's one on a flash drive somewhere or whatever. You know,
like if he's touched a piece of electronic, you know, then he's there.
He would have a contingency. He's on a floppy disk somewhere. He's on like you're fucked, dog. There's like nothing that can read that.
Right? Yeah. What the fuck are you gonna do?
He's on a Zune somewhere.
Yeah. Oh no.
Zoontron.
Oh shit! Well then, Peter Quill, he's the perfect motherfucker.
What if he's on Peter's Zoom? Fucking Drax was just like, oh yeah, here we go.
Oh, that would be amazing. Let's see, what else we got here? Yeah, so there are like some specifics here that I want to talk about. We know that the road was all conjured up by Wiccan,
right?
What was up with the themes?
It was interesting, right? Because there's going to be... I thought for a minute that they were almost going to go... Like, it's obviously got WandaVision vibes, right, to an extent. But instead of, like, TV formats, it's more eras.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's probably all stuff that he's seen in movies and things like that. You know?
Okay, yeah.
It's like, okay, this is his idea of what 70s attire is. This is his idea of... You know, a beach attire. This is his idea of this. I think it was all like, you know, they do that kind of montage in his room where you can see his inspiration for a lot of the things.
Right.
I actually really loved that reveal. It was super well done. That shit caught me off guard.
Yeah. His parents do not ask enough questions also. Just want to put that out there. His parents were very much like, where have you been? You've been missing for the past 24 hours, and you come back and you're bloody, and the fuck, you know, what's happened to you? And we don't get to see his response because what the fuck is he supposed to say? But then he just goes up to his room, and I'm like, I feel like that conversation should have been.
Yeah,
I feel like there should be like a police report. There should be something.
Yeah, it was that the interaction with the parents was real weird, right?
Yeah.
And like they still don't know that's not their kid,
right? And how do you explain that to them? You know?
Yeah, I'd be like, that's insane. Get the fuck out of my house.
Right.
Like now.
Yeah. So you're just a wandering spirit, and you stole our son's body.
Yeah. Can you conjure up some rent money? Because otherwise.
So with the introduction of Wiccan, man, that also means that we are taking more and more steps towards Young Avengers.
I at least we added a character that I give a fuck about.
Right.
So now we have like three.
Yeah, we got Kamala, we got Kate, we got Cassie. We got a lot of cut in this group, and now we got Billy. We got Patriot, or at least he was introduced in Falcon and Winter Soldier. No Hulkling, no Iron Lad, which is a shame because Iron Lad would be like kind of the key component to that group. But
what's that kid doing anyway? She got to be like 10 by now.
Who? Oh, you talking about Tony's kid?
Yeah. I mean, she can't still be eating hamburgers.
Yeah, I guess.
That was 2019, man. So that was 5 years ago. That kid was cool.
I mean, yeah.
That's who it is, right?
No, Iron Lad.
Oh, okay.
He's a kid version of Kang the Conqueror.
Oh, right. Yeah. They're not going to do that.
Yeah, they can't do that, which is unfortunate because he actually had arguably the coolest story of the Young Avengers, but for obvious reasons, they're not going to do that. So. And then, that first entire arc with the Young Avengers comics, it culminates with them fighting Kang the Conqueror. So, the whole first big story chunk revolves around Iron Lad and his preparation and his desire to want to defeat Kang. And they really should have stopped it there because once they defeat Kang, Iron Lad, in effect, also dies because he is Kang to be.
Right.
So, but yeah, so looking at the roster now, they could throw in Kid Loki because technically we do see him in Loki season 1.
That's true. You think they're gonna bring Kid Loki back?
I don't know. You know what? If they really have gotten rid of Loki Prime, then they would probably bring back some type of Loki.
I definitely don't think they got rid of Loki Prime.
I mean, I think if anything, I think we see him again in Secret Wars, and that'd be it.
Right, yeah. Or they go visit him or something there, like a cameo type deal.
Yeah.
Because he is controlling the fucking time stream right now.
Yeah.
He's like the Time Lord or whatever of the MCU right now. Spoilers for Loki Season 2.
Right. For those of you who are also late watching that show.
Yeah, I mean, if you were later than us, you got no excuse. Did you like Wiccan's performance in this, though? Did you...
I did.
Like the character? Me too.
I did. I really liked him here.
I love how they just treat him like shit. It was hilarious where they just call him Teen or whatever.
Yeah, he's just Teen. They don't even try to give him any kind of other name. He's just Teen.
I mean, I went into this show with basically no spoilers. Mm-hmm. He was the one thing that I really easily called. I was like, that's one of the kids, and my bet is on Wiccan.
Yeah. He's asking about magic. He's hanging around Agatha. And he just got the look. I don't know if you've ever seen Wiccan in the comics, but this motherfucker just even looks.
He does. Yeah, yeah, so, and he's super gay, appropriately gay.
Yeah, he's appropriately gay.
I actually want to talk about that too because I thought that this show was an excellent example of okay, you wanna if you wanna put gay characters in the show, I'm all for it. If you want to put whatever various race, sexuality, origin, whatever.
This is how you do it.
I'm cool with it. Yeah. And it was a great fucking representation, and they didn't sacrifice the story for it.
Right.
And I'm like, why is this so hard? Yeah,
the story never stopped to focus on who this kid's fucking. It was just part of his journey.
Right.
As it should be.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see? Am I mildly upset that we didn't get an extended Rio and and Agatha scene? A little bit, but Disney's working on it.
Yeah, they're getting there.
Baby steps.
Yeah,
we got our first cake shot of the MCU.
That's true. How crazy is that, right? we got to see, out of all people, Agatha Harkness's ass before Captain America. Oh shit! You mean to tell me that Tony Stark's never fallen out the Iron Man suit drunk as hell, butt ass naked? Like that's never happened,
right? I mean,
yeah. The perfect opportunity would have been She-Hulk
or Thor.
Yeah.
You just have Thor drunk as shit come walking out in like nothing.
Right.
Loincloth or something.
Oh, shit. Y'all already like to exploit that motherfucker, anyway, for his looks. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Hemsworth's already the man meat anyway. Right. Show him the other hammer.
Maybe that's a step too far. Yeah, maybe we should reel it in some.
I need my hammer. It looks like you got it. I need my other hammer.
Oh, shit. Motherfucker.
This is your fault, Kevin. I wouldn't be here.
It is your fault, Kevin.
Actually, I probably would have insisted on being on this episode.
You probably would have.
Because I'd have been like, you guys are just going to shit on it the whole time.
It would be very much like, it'd be similar to Ant-Man, where I'd be like, maybe you're the most positive on it, and I'm pretty positive on it, and Kevin's just not having it. That would definitely be the dynamic here.
Yeah.
I don't know if Kevin even knows this show exists.
I think he would like it if he made it through it. Mm-hmm. But I think the first episode would really be a turn off for him.
Probably,
But I gotta say, man, I'm pleasantly surprised is an understatement. Because like I said, I thought that this was gonna suck. I thought the Penguin was gonna suck. And unless Penguin got real shitty in the last couple episodes, like I was completely wrong about both of them. Pleasantly so.
Are you current on Penguin?
No, I'm 2 back.
Okay.
So
I won't spoil anything, but no, it's still up there.
Was there a standout in the cast for you? Or I mean, you said Agatha was your favorite, so is Catherine Hahn a standout for you?
Man, she might have been my standout, and it's really not fair because if you look at it, the two people who clearly get the most screen time is Agatha and Wiccan.
Right.
I think that if Alice had been around for maybe another episode or two, she could have been my favorite. Or I think that had they given us more of Lilia, she could have been my favorite as well. Just because, again, it would have really helped me resonate even more with that episode 7. Like, I love the way that episode was written and laid out and formatted. But, man, had they done more to help me care about that character or see that character, that would have really been chef's kiss.
Yeah, Patti LuPone is the actress. And she's like a real famous like Broadway actress.
I can tell. I get that vibe.
Yeah, I mean, a lot, kind of the way that like, Once Upon a Time, like, Ian McKellen, it's like he was more of a stage actor than anything.
And you can tell, when you look at him,
yeah,
when you watch him.
And she, I thought, really killed it, especially in that episode. I actually watched it with people who know a lot more about tarot than I do. I have a very basic understanding. I'll get to that in a second. But I actually thought that, like, it's kind of like when you see D&D in a thing.
Okay.
It's always just a bullshit amalgamation of what people think D&D is. And tarot tends to kind of be the same way.
So it's like when you or I see, like, wrestling and, like, and entertainment.
Like in Boy Meets World or whatever, and
yeah. Like or something like The Wrestler. It's like, okay, well, you're right, but it's not like that.
Yeah, this is just a dramatized. Yeah. I thought that their representation of tarot here was really well done. So I want to bring this up. So I'm talking about that we're going to go do this episode. And I'm talking to the homie Kay about it. She's going to be joining us on Monday for the Miss Moore review, as well as the homie Lauren.
What?
And So, she is talking to me about it, and she goes, well, do you have a girl on the show tonight? And I was like, no. And she was like, see, I feel like this is a very woman-centric show, and I think you guys should have a woman on the episode. I don't know why she would get
that idea.
And I think you should have a woman on the episode. And I was like, okay, well, do you want to come? Do you want to be on it? And she was like, no, she was like, that's too short a notice. I was like, no. I told you weeks ago we were reviewing this.
Oh, yeah.
So you didn't say nothing until today?
Yeah.
I'll be honest. This would have been an amazing time to have Jazzy on the show, because she's actually very into a lot of these things in real life.
Okay.
I know that. Yeah, and so I think she would have had a lot of insight into some of the real world counterparts or references and things like that.
Yeah.
That are in the show that maybe we would have missed. But and then like I said, hey, I extended the invitation to come on the show. Right. So to Kay, Jazzy hasn't watched it yet, or I would have been like, hey man, we can make this happen. So yeah, I mean, I would have loved to have somebody with that kind of insight on the episode. But hey, guess what? You got a bunch of fucking nerds instead.
That's right. You got us.
Yeah, you got us. This is who you got. So we are looking at this through the lens of this was some damn good writing.
Right.
And I was really happy to see this show. I mean, people go on and on and on about like, oh, they're trying to push this type of character, this type of demographic, whatever. Then on the other hand, you have people who are like, well, women characters don't sell or don't draw or whatever. And I'm like, that's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, as we've said, every 10 ever, Sigourney Weaver,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, every movie scored a 10.
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver's a guy.
So Sigourney Weaver, yeah. Alien Resurrection, 10. Alien 3, 10. I'm kidding. Those aren't. Avatar 1 and 2, 10.
10. She's in both.
Yeah, fuck that shit. But Defenders, 10.
10. She's in it.
Yeah. But there's so many instances. I mean, Scarlett Johansson was one of the highest revenue generating actors, male or female, in 1 year. I think it was maybe 2017, 2018, somewhere in there. I mean, there's so many instances that prove that a female character can make a considerable amount of money, can be a well-written character. The difference is when you just go, I want to make a show and I want to have a female lead, and that's as far as you get.
Yeah. I just did a whole episode about this very topic.
You did.
A few weeks ago.
And it was excellent.
Oh, thank you. Douglas A. Burton, tremendous author, and the man has done a lot of work and research on women and their representation in Hollywood. And hey, like on the surface of it, guys, you may think that this is just some fucking bullshit. No, it's not. He is very much in mind and in likeness of Hollywood's issues with women, and like how they have such a hard time displaying proper representation. So yeah, I mean, it was a great conversation, and I mean, plus like he likes and shits on a lot of the same shit, which is also incredible.
Well, because the thing is, I mean, let's just say a character like Ray, for instance. Mm-hmm. Do I think that Daisy Ridley can act? I do not, but it doesn't help her any. It further harms the way that women are perceived in media,
right? To
have a character like that, because you look at that and you go, this character doesn't struggle with fucking anything, and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel contrived, and it's the same way that you're only as good as the person you're across from. Another wrestling reference, right? If the babyface comes out there and easily defeats the heel with no struggle, right, you aren't going to feel good about that. You saw that coming. Yeah. So when this character achieves whatever the story is, whatever the goal of this movie trilogy is, and has their triumphant moment at the end, you're not going to feel anything. Yeah. And I didn't, and don't. Right. So it comes down to, the disservice is coming from the people that put this stuff out.
Exactly.
You know, they think that what they are doing is trying to help a specific cause by having this representation, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
I think most people agree on that. And the ones that don't, fuck them. But like, you take like the all-female Ghostbusters, you know? Terrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely dreadful. That's as far as they got. Like, you're just putting out there that you think you're furthering representation, but you're actually harming it.
You're harming it.
Because what you're saying is, okay, well, this media that has this, you know, demographic in it is not going to be good. You're setting that expectation.
And there's none of the eye-rolling gender wars bullshit in Agatha.
No.
These are characters. Like these feel like people.
Right.
Are also witches. There are also a whole lot of witches.
There is a lot of motherfucking witches. Oh, I gotta say this. The Salem 7?
They are from the comics.
Yeah. Dude, they were fucking creepy. Bro. They were so well done.
They were. Like they were almost like the ring wraiths.
Yeah. Yeah, they were giving that vibe.
Extremely creepy. Like they were much more, because you know they were originally created in like the 60s or 70s, right? So they were originally much more kind of cartoonish.
Right. Well, you've seen Ahsoka, right?
Yeah.
They reminded me of the Great Mothers.
Yeah, oh yeah.
A lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I will say this. I wasn't thrilled with their resolution either.
No, their resolution was like they were kind of thrown away, you know.
Like a little, like on one hand, I like it from an artistic standpoint and how they played it, but with them, it's almost like a lot of build up and really no deliver. We don't really get to see them do.
They got fucking obliterated.
Yeah.
They were creepy as shit when they were chasing Wiccan down to the stairs or whatever. Like, you were like, the stakes are so high here.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, by the time it gets time to resolve their thing, the show's not about that anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and I get it. Like, you kind of have to write them off. But hey, you could have saved them for that finale, you know? And
that's true.
We could have got
and
like
had Wiccan, you know,
fight them.
Yeah. That would have been the move, I think.
So,
speaking of which, so let's talk about Agatha's son, Nicholas Scratch. Old Nick Scratch. He's also in the comic books. He's a villain. I don't think that they're going to go that route here.
He has a dope ass backstory if they do.
Right. Yeah. He really does. And I mean, hell. So how, like, instead of, if they do the Young Avengers movie, right? Like, instead of going the route of Iron Lad struggling with the impending King the Conqueror, maybe you put Wiccan in that spot and have him struggling with the impending coming of Nicholas Scratch. You know, because now Wiccan is almost like the surrogate son of Agatha versus the actual son of Agatha.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something, you know.
So are we thinking, because I was kind of confused on this, are we thinking that like that Death still got him? Like maybe she's just got his like soul in a jar somewhere?
Or maybe it's not even that complex. Maybe he's just dead, you know. Yeah. So the thing of it is, and I wish the show didn't do this because it kind of puts. I don't really know what it means. Like in the show, like he was like immaculate conception. Was that the case? Didn't they say that?
Yeah, I think they kind of went along those lines.
Like in the comics, you don't really know who his dad is, but it's implied that it's a demon. Some people think Mephisto, but
could be.
Mephisto gets around, man. He be out here slinging dick and shit.
That's true, yeah. and nips. Digging nips.
But, you know, speaking of which, I had almost forgotten about Nicholas Scratch in the show. So when we got to the finale and Ghost Agatha, you know, says that she's not ready to face him, I was like, you mean Mephisto?
Yeah.
You know? And he was like, "Oh, your son." I was like, "Damn it!" All right.
Or it could be both. That might be who's got him.
Yeah. That could be.
Yeah.
That's very much in line with Mephisto. He has Dr. Doom's mom. You know, he has her soul, and you know, so He does like to collect souls. That is a thing of his.
Yeah.
He's a man of hobbies.
What did you think about the Nicholas Scratch kind of and that / Agatha backstory here?
Yeah, I thought that it was. Yeah, I thought it was good. You know,
One thing I gotta say, that was a big ass fucking baby. That was not a newborn. They got like an 8-month-old child, and she was just like bloop, bloop. I was like, if you had pulled that motherfucking 25-pound fucking toddler out of you, you would not just be chilling. I don't care what kind of magic you got.
That baby was born with teeth.
Yeah. Yeah, like that baby came out and I just like looked over at Kay and I was like, that's a big ass baby. She was like, yeah, that ain't a newborn.
Oh shit.
She's like, they must not have been able to get a newborn for whatever reason.
Yeah, yeah. I also, this is when I really noticed there's a lot of goddamn witches here.
Oh, there's a lot. It's a fucking lot. Well, there used to be a lot.
There used to be a lot, yeah. There used to be a whole lot of witches here. And so, like, help me understand in this scenario what Agatha's whole ploy was, because at first I thought that she was sending these souls to death to fend death off from her son. But that seems to not have been the case, and she was just doing this to siphon power for herself. Correct?
Yeah, so she's, well, I thought that the way I understood it was she was siphoning power for herself, but the agreement with death was that she would give her souls.
Yeah, okay.
Essentially.
So it was both.
And that she would extend the life of, she could have just straight up killed them, but she was taking their power. And I'm assuming that she was doing that because she thought she'd be able to, when the time came, she'd be able to fight her.
Okay.
You know, if I take all these people's power, then when the time comes, I can fight her.
Yeah.
You know, but it didn't work out that way. And yeah, I could have used a little, once they got to the Witches Road thing where they show her absorbing the power, that part went too long. I thought the backstory with her son was actually perfect and really well done. And you understand Agatha a lot more with that backstory. I mean, she was never this morally upright person.
Right.
You know, but she also got dealt a shitty hand. So, you know, and we've seen a lot of situations where it's like, okay, this is a good person. They get dealt a shitty hand, and then, yeah, they can become morally gray or worse. Right. You know, but in this situation, this is like a fucking bad person that went through some trauma and became worse. You know?
Right. Yeah, so she got dealt a shit hand, and then she just kept rolling with it, you know? Like, the trauma of her losing her son, she was really never able to come down from. And centuries later, she's still spinning this web of deceit, talking about some damn Witches Road. And I would be a little upset, right, if in the 1700s I made a song, and then centuries later, another witch made a hit record off of it and is profiting. Like,
well, it wasn't exactly the same.
Well, hey, it was close enough.
Yeah, I mean, her and her kid kind of made up they were just kind of making it up as they went along, which I thought was actually fucking tragic, right? And then, yeah, I mean, the ballad version or whatever was really cool.
Still, my lyrics, I get writing credits on those songs, means that a percentage should come to me.
Well, that shows that you do not have an understanding of how the music industry works.
Oh shit! The writers, producers, they get a percentage.
Yeah, but I mean, the record label is like, fuck it, I'm taking all that shit.
Yeah, that's facts. Yeah, there's no magic allowed that can beat those motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's why when unless you just have $1 billion. Taylor Swift found out that if you got $1 billion, then you can fight him. Yeah. But that's what it takes. It's the same thing as Magic Johnson. You just inject yourself with all your cash. But I thought that it was very interesting that they went this route with it. And I like that they changed it, that it wasn't the exact song or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, when they did the Kate Bush running up that hill for Stranger Things, you know, she actually owns 100% of the rights to that song.
Man, that's amazing.
Yeah, the actual artist. And so, you know, she got pizzade.
Yeah. You know, actually, you might have noticed this too, not to rabbit hole us here, but when CM Punk came back to WWE,
I do know about this. Yeah.
Coach's personality, like I noticed right off the bat, like this sounds, it's clearly the same song, but like a different rendition, but it's clearly the same people.
Yeah.
And so you heard the story about how they re-recorded it. So
they pulled a Taylor Swift. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's incredible.
Yeah, and they made sure they got that version because
Right.
they wanted the band to get 100% of the money and not the record label.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also like how, too, they were like, yeah, so they called us, is this for you? Because if it's not for you, they can fuck off.
Right. And like Punk couldn't tell him, but he wanted to tell him.
He was like, just do the damn thing.
Right.
Let them have it.
I think you guys should let them have it.
Yeah. But is it for you? I think you should let them have it.
Oh, shit. Fun fact about Agatha Harkness that may seem out of left field for those of you who don't know this. Her first appearance, her first arc was in the Fantastic Four. And not only was her first arc in the Fantastic Four, she was Franklin Richards' nanny. So you have this goddamn witch with all these powers watching over young Franklin Richards of the Fantastic Four. And here's the thing, like, she was a really good nanny.
Right?
Yeah, she took good care of Franklin. And she helped the Fantastic Four fight Nicholas Scratch and all this other kind of crazy, and this Salem 7, all this other crazy shit.
Hazmat Franklin Richards. The full name. It's all coming together.
Oh, God, shit. He was there the whole time.
The whole time.
I'll be goddamn.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, I have very little. Like, I have basically no Agatha Harkness comics knowledge other than what you have said to me out loud, probably in this room. So I'm sitting there watching the show, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like this is not comic accurate at all. But I was like, but it's well written, so it has a chance with Ace.
Yeah, and I mean, there were some parts that were very much comic book accurate, like the stuff with the Kaplans, Tommy and his folks, like that was spot on, like how they kind of got their bodies, so to speak. That was pretty accurate. And even Agatha becoming a ghost, I was expecting that too, because she's been a ghost a couple times in the comics. She's been she was killed once, I think, by the Salem 7, or maybe by the original Coven. I think she was killed. And
I gotta be honest.
Yeah,
that's one thing that I'm dead set on about this show. Mm-hmm. She got a full arc, man. Just
let it ride.
Please don't bring her back.
Yeah.
She got a nice full arc.
She did.
If you want to have her like spontaneously show up and like Obi-Wan Kenobi Wiccan, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I think the second time she was killed was by Wanda. Pretty sure it was by Wanda. But yeah, so, and also if you guys have played the Midnight Suns video game, she's a ghost all throughout that game as well. So she just stays being a ghost. She stays dead. No Dragon Ball is bringing her back.
She can hook up with Rio now.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, they want to, I guess.
Yeah, they can do whatever.
Right.
I guess that's the last thing we probably need to talk about before we score this thing is what'd you think? What'd you think about Death here?
And I love Aubrey Plaza.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, if it wasn't her, I feel like I'd probably be.
It's true. That is true. If it wasn't Aubrey Plaza, would I still have enjoyed this performance?
Did you see where her makeup was practical?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It is.
The set design and everything in this show was really well fucking done. I mean, a lot of it. Oh yeah,
I'll be honest. I feel like with some of the episodes, I was like, so they just set up shop on whatever lots were open.
Yeah, and they were like, these outfits.
Yeah.
Some of it's got like some Final Fantasy X-2 kind of shit going on,
Like, we're just gonna roll with it and see what happens. But they made it work though, so fuck it. No, I liked her as Death though. She brought a certain flair to the role that really kind of matched Agatha's, So I thought that it was I thought it was an appropriate performance. Aubrey does cool and sexy and creepy together very well.
Her comic relief for me was amazing. First couple episodes when like some horrifying shit would happen and she's just like cackling. I loved that.
Right. Yeah, she's the best at that. She's great at that. And even going back to the fight at the end, you kind of wonder, okay, where's this going to lead to? And because like you're not going to beat death, like if death wants somebody, she's going to get somebody,
Right.
And so I like the way that also played out in the end because it had to be that way. So
yeah, do you think we're going to see her show up? Like, do you think we're going to see any of these characters? I mean, obviously Wiccan, but besides him, do you think we'll see like Jen? I mean, I think she's probably unlikely, but or Death in other corners of the MCU.
I think that when we see Death again, I think that we'll be close to getting Mephisto.
Yeah. I really do think that they're going to let Mephisto be a Disney Plus villain. As much as I still think it could be done well, but I think Mephisto would serve better in this corner of the MCU than in like the Avengers arena or the side, because that's kind of the three areas we have right now, right? Is we have the main line. Let's face it, New York and other areas on Earth story, and then there's cosmic,
right?
And then we have kind of the witchy corner.
I think that Mephisto should function as the anti-watcher, where he does kind of the same shit, but he instigates and because he needs to feel that big, for me. Yeah, man, it's tricky with Mephisto, right? Because he's got to feel big and important. I honestly, man, I think that if they haven't done so already, look, scrap the Blade movie, make a Midnight Suns.
Oh my God!
Make a Midnight Suns movie with Blade in it, okay?
Wesley Snipes?
Hell, you could. Fuck it. I mean, at this point, fuck it. Why not?
Hey, they got the padded suit. I mean,
yeah, just get him again. Fuck.
I mean, if they're just gonna put him in Midnight Suns, fuck it. Just get. I mean, keep him.
Yeah. And you can have Mephisto be your main threat.
I think a Midnight Suns movie is likely. I don't think we're going to get it this phase. Honestly, like, I think we need everything we can possibly get to help stick the landing on this. So we've got Cat 4, Thunderbolts. Is it Doomsday?
Fantastic Four.
Oh, Fantastic Four.
Yep.
Then Doomsday. So we only got 3 movies between now and Doomsday.
Yep.
Then we only got 2 movies, one of which is going to be Spider-Man 4.
Yep.
Called it. Before Secret Wars. Right. So we only have 1 slot. I don't think a Midnight Suns movie makes sense there.
It doesn't, but what does make sense there?
Hold on. Let me text Feige. I'll be honest, man. Unless they're going to do... There's a couple things that would make sense there. Okay. Doctor Strange 3 would make sense.
Yeah.
But I feel like the window to get that off the ground is closing. Like,
oh, yeah. They haven't even announced that yet, have they?
Right. Yeah. You gotta come through, you know?
Right.
They're not gonna do this, but I personally, I think a Guardians reboot would be fine there.
Ooh.
But I think the next time we see the Guardians is gonna be in Secret Wars.
Yeah.
And even then, it's probably just gonna be Peter and fucking Kaiju Groot.
Really? No Rocket?
I don't think so.
Interesting.
I don't think so. And I don't even think the Peter will be 616. I think the Peter will maybe be one of those the other ones.
Oh, shit. It might be like a competent Peter?
Yeah, it could be like any of the What If. It's going to be the one from What If where he works at Burger King or whatever. And T'Challa became Star-Lord. Yeah. It's going to be that one.
Shit.
Yeah, so a Thor. Another Thor. Like an actual good Thor movie.
Like an actual good Thor movie. Man, it's been a while since we had one of those.
It's been a minute. Yeah. But I think he has said he wants to do he wants to stop being Thor. So
yeah.
Very happy about that.
You know what's interesting?
A Thor and Deadpool movie.
Oh, fuck. You know what's interesting? Like the perfect story for him would be like this story about Gord the God Butcher, right? It's about this guy who was wronged by the gods, and then he usurps the power of the gods, and he uses that power to go around the cosmos killing all the other gods, right? And then he has this final big showdown with Thor, right? But Thor doesn't have really the power to bring him down. And so like it's this huge, amazing, well-received comic book. I think that would make a tremendous send-off for Thor.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see why we don't do that. Like, that would be amazing.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Do you think if they do that, who would you actually want? I mean, since we can't have what you just described, is there a particular Thor story you'd like to see there? I hope they don't go the Hercules route. Just fucking drop that shit.
Yeah. An actual Thor story that they haven't butchered.
I see what you did there. Pun intended.
God damn it. Oh shit, that they could do.
Where's the?
They're down there in the bottom.
Okay.
I would say maybe Thor the Unworthy could be fun. But that's really only if they ever plan on bringing back Natalie Portman's Thor as well, which I got a feeling they're probably not going to do. I don't know if she has any interest in it.
I think Secret Wars may be our only.
Yeah.
What if like Thor isn't even in it? You know, like somebody just fucking they get in a fight or whatever. You see Mjolnir come and fucking take a motherfucker out, and Deadpool gets all excited. He's like, "Oh my god, he's here!" And then you see it, and it's her. You know?
Oh yeah.
And she's got a thing, and he's like, "God damn it!"
Oh shit. Yeah, they could go like I know that the old man thing is getting kind of tropey, but I mean they could do like an old man Thor, a Thor who has the Odin Force, who is effectively taking that position.
Yep.
Hell, because Odin's dead in the MCU, so yeah. Well, then there is no Asgard. I mean, there's a lot of problems they have to kind of overcome.
Did you see the like leaked scene or whatever that came out a few days ago from Ragnarok where they had the original Odin death?
No.
Because, in the movie, he just kind of like fades out. He Yoda's basically.
Yeah.
So apparently in the original scene, they actually have Hela find him first. And she actually confronts him about like locking her away and everything. And Odin kind of gives this pretty decent monologue for Taika Waititi to have written it, where he just kind of is like, you had to be your like malice and ruthlessness. I had no choice. Like I couldn't kill my own child, so I did the only thing I could do. And she kills him. And that's when Thor throws Mjolnir at her and she catches it.
Oh.
And it was actually, I think, a much better scene than we actually got.
It's like, I don't really care for either of those scenes just because of, I guess you just have to buy that in the MCU, Odin's not really a threat anymore.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you have to deal with ridiculously OP Hela.
Yeah. Crazy OP.
Yeah. Just,
it's
vague powers, whatever. Basically, Doctor Doom from Fan Force to Hela.
Yeah. She can grow her helmet thing out, and
I love Cate Blanchett.
Oh, same. She had a blast, you can tell.
Yeah, but the script doesn't. Oh, you want to score this thing?
Yeah, man. Let's go ahead and score Agatha All Along.
I'm gonna let you go first.
All right. Listen, this show, it may start off rocky for some. I actually like the start of it. You can tell that Catherine Hahn is having an absolute blast with this. They've got a cast here that I think is actually really good, really impressive. Like, there's chemistry there. They all feel like actual people who have their own problems and things that they want to overcome. The script is not perfect and it's not airtight, but man, if you just kind of let some of those things go and just enjoy this journey for what it is, you'll find something that is actually a really good story that treats the characters well, and as a result, treats you as the viewers very well. It doesn't treat you like an idiot. There is appropriate growth for characters who need it, and then there is character follow through for characters like Agatha, and who needs it. I love the depiction of death. I really also enjoyed Wiccan in this show as well, and to the point where I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next. And there's, I can't say that about like all of the Young Avengers.
Only about a few of them.
Yeah. And at this point, the Young Avengers are very much going to be like the Stranger Things kids by the time they get this off the ground.
Yeah, they're going to be like 30.
Yeah.
I know you can't wait to see Love.
See, I was perfectly fine with forgetting about that goddamn character.
I hope the MCU forgets about that character.
We can only hope. But no, I thought that for the most part it was paced very well. I didn't really care much for the last episode, to be honest. While the exposition of Agatha's story is nice for her character, by that point in the story you don't really need it anymore, and you can also pretty much fill in the blanks for most of what happened if you hadn't done so already. But I do like the implications at the end of the show. Even though this show isn't heavy on action, I didn't expect that from this show. As a whole, I give this show an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it more than someone of my particular taste and talents typically tend to enjoy.
Very nice. Yeah, man, I kind of I was kind of surprised that you were enjoying it as well. I had no anticipation of doing it. I thought the best case we were going to get is that it might be fun. Mm-hmm. I was like, it'll be like in the vein of like a Hocus Pocus, But instead, what we got is I view this very similarly to the Guardians Holiday Special, where that Guardians Holiday Special could have very easily been some campy Frosty the Snowman bullshit with Guardians characters in it. Instead, it's a masterpiece. This does for this kind of witchy, supernaturally kind of setup. It kind of, this does for that what the Guardians Special does for the Holiday Special as a genre. I thought that this actually sort of elevates it, right? I thought that this was better done than other things in this arena, kind of like Nightmare Before Christmas or Wednesday or Supernatural itself or like a Beetlejuice. It's very much in that kind of area as far as genre goes. And I thought that this was excellent. The writing for the characters is really good. There is some camp and some cheese in there, and so maybe you can chalk that up to it just goes with the genre, but I think that's a weak excuse. It's not my cup of tea. There's some people that enjoy camp though, so I can't outright say, oh, I can't believe you put this in here, because there are some people that enjoy it. There's some very dark humor in the show. And a lot of it really lands. But the thing, I talked about this the other day, and this show was really a contributing factor to why I brought this up. If you will write something to make me care about the characters, I really don't care beyond that.
Yeah.
If I care about the characters, I don't care what the setting is. You got me. Tell me about the characters.
Right.
And I thought that the plot for this was really good. I thought that it was paced super well throughout. 9 episodes tells me that they made what they had plot for. Could they have dropped 30 minutes? They could have. But I mean, out of 8.5 hours, 9 hours,
It ain't bad.
If that's all you were going to drop,
Yeah.
I can't take off too much for that.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see where Jen is going to go, where Wiccan's going to go. They dropped some hints from Mephisto. And Aubrey Plaza is always a pleasure. And I thought that casting her as Death was a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
I want to see where that goes. Judging just by what's in the show, it's great. I really hope that in the future, though, they don't literally dig up Agatha's corpse. Literally and figuratively.
Right.
I think they need to just kind of let her literally fade into the background here. And let some of these other characters shine, and use her very sparingly going forward in her ghost form. That being said, I'm going to give this one an 8.7. Really enjoyed this. The 7th episode is, I think, spectacular writing, and the people who are involved in the show. I hope that the risk that they took and things like that are recognized by Marvel Studios, and I hope that these people get to work on other projects because, as I said before, you're not doing the genre any favors. Like, our expectations for this show were in the dirt.
Yeah. Because
for every show like this we've gotten a fucking Captain Marvel, an Eternals,
right.
You name it, it's one step forward, 2 steps back every time.
Yes.
This shows one of the steps forward.
Right.
But, we took a bunch of steps back to get here. So, I hope that this is, I think that the MCU is on a great roll right now. I think it's on a nice incline. It's having a lot of hits. Mm-hmm. So if they can keep this kind of momentum rolling, then they might just pull off Secret Wars.
They need to keep it rolling, but they also need to start connecting the dots.
Right. Because, as I said, we're off in a corner here.
Yeah.
The main MCU is still it's like Endgame, and then everyone fucked off and started doing their own stuff. And I really hope that with Cap 4, we start to see these kind of things start to come back together, especially with Thunderbolts. Yeah. I think they're really, Thunderbolts is basically the whole B team,
Yeah. And Bucky.
And Bucky, yeah. Well, and Yelena.
Yeah, yeah.
Yelena and Bucky are 18.
Yelena is much newer on the roster than Bucky, though.
Yeah.
It's like he's definitely got the OG veteran status with the fans.
Yeah, and Yelena would not be where she's at if Florence Pugh wasn't so fucking excellent.
Yeah.
Like,
and you also have to expect people to have watched Black Widow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Her cameos are better than...
That's true.
When
she was in Hawkeye,
yeah,
that was great.
Yeah, she stole the screen every second she was in Hawkeye.
Yeah.
She's in something else too, right?
Yeah. She shows up at the end of something else, right? Am I tripping?
Is it No. That was that scene that I'm thinking about is Kate Bishop and Kamala Khan.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, they ribbed the Nick Fury shit, which was hilarious to me. Yeah. So there you have it, folks.
Well, one more question before we get out of here. When do we see Scarlet Witch again?
I was very pleasantly surprised she didn't show up in this.
You were pleasantly surprised she didn't show up.
Yeah.
You didn't want to see her here.
I did not. Because and actually the showrunner actually talked about this. Also, I'm glad that Marvel has decided we need those again. That there needs to be a showrunner. The showrunner actually talked about this, and she was like, "It really didn't feel fair to Agatha, for this to be her show, and then everybody's going to be paying attention to the Avenger that shows up." Mm-hmm. And I tend to disagree with that shit. Like, kind of the whole like, oh, Doctor Strange should have been in WandaVision,
right?
Or the fucking Luke Skywalker shit that Star Wars pulled, where they're like, oh yeah, well we didn't want him in the main part of the movie because that's all everybody would have been focused on. Yeah, because that's what we wanted to see. Right. Yeah. Oh, God forbid you give these audiences something they want to pay attention to for 90 minutes. I thought that was the point. But normally I think that's bullshit, but in this instance, I actually think that her kind of coming in at the end would have been. I feel like it would have fallen flat. I think it would have felt rushed. I like that they're taking their time with this story. I think maybe seeing an after credits with her maybe would have been okay. You know, kind of a like Scarlet Witch will return type deal.
Yeah.
You know, something to kind of let us know that she's still out there. Because as far as we know, she's dead.
Right. I think that had this show came out directly after maybe Doctor Strange 2, had it come out like months after that, I think we would have seen Wanda in it. Not because of anything good. I think they would have put her in it because at that point they were still in the phase of doing whatever and hoping it pans out.
Yeah.
But I think they're taking their time with it now because they need to figure out exactly what they want to do with Wanda. What is Wanda when she comes back? If she comes back,
right?
You know, is she mentally stable this time around? Is she still ultra super powerful? House of M Wanda? Is she, you know, is she a good guy, bad guy? Like what is Wanda now? Is she still looking for her kids? What about her husband, who she forgot about in Doctor Strange 2? You know, so there's all that going on, and unless you're ready to answer those questions, you don't bring her back yet.
Right. Agreed.
So, well, there you have it, folks. That is our review of Agatha All Along. All Along.
Agatha House of All Along.
Yeah, Agatha in the House of Coven All Along. All right. We have bullshitted enough for one evening. That's going to be all for now. Homies, hope you guys enjoyed this. We will see you guys again very soon for a very packed and awesome next week where we will be reviewing the remainder of the Mistborn trilogy as well as the Penguin TV show. But until then, my name is Superhero Homie Q.
I'm Superhero Homie Caleb.